Welcome back to another episode of CLyonCreates. Today what we're going to do is make some custom translucent buttons for my Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons. We're going to start with the right Joy-Con, which means we're going to do the A, B, X, Y buttons. I already went ahead and made the mold for these. I only did the right Joy-Con buttons because I wanted to make sure it's going to work before I pulled apart two $40 Joy-Cons. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Here's that mold. We're going to cast some translucent blue ones. We'll have to do some finishing work. We've got to cut them off that little bit of excess resin. I also went ahead and cast other colors. So far I've done a translucent orange, as you see there, and then the translucent yellow, which did not have enough pigment, so it's more like a champagne color than anything. So yeah, a little bit of finishing work on these, and we'll see if they can fit in the Joy-Con shells. So to get this excess resin off, what we're going to do is drop it in a cup of warm water. 20-30 seconds, does not take long. You're just trying to soften that material up so it's easier to cut. These buttons are specific to each button spot. They have slots on the back of them that are specific to each button. So A, B, X, Y, and then the left, right, down, and up buttons on the left Joy-Con are all different. So I'm gonna have to make a separate mold for the left Joy-Con. Alright, so after that softens up a bit, we'll take our razor blade. Be careful doing this. Now you can use an X-Acto knife or whatever blade you're comfortable with. Just do it safely. I use a flat razor blade. I feel it helps me cut a flatter surface. I'm just going to cut them off of here carefully. There's a specific thickness to these. If they're too thick, what'll happen is it'll cause the Joy-Con shell to push out. There's limited space in there, so even if this is just a millimeter or so too thick, it's gonna unfortunately make for a tighter fit within the Joy-Con. So gotta make sure to get the correct or close to the correct thickness on these. So after cutting the majority off, we'll work on the little bits, and again, like I said, those little slots are specific to each button spot on each controller. So there's 8 specific buttons for 2 controllers. This is painstaking for the eyes, so I threw it on a little white paper here just to help, because again, this is translucent, tiny, and just really hard to see. Here are the stock buttons in the shell, what they look like, the depth at which they sit. We'll swap out the orange ones and see what they look like in there. And now to put these in a working Joy-Con, I've got my custom skinned Rube Joy-Con right here. So we're gonna pull this apart real quick. If you're looking for a tutorial on how to pull these apart, I'll link the one I used. I'm not gonna attempt to try and make a better one because that one was really good. Taught me a lot. But just be careful, have a little place to store all your screws so you don't lose any, and just be patient with this. Everything is tiny in here, so it's very easy to lose stuff or break stuff if you're rough with it. So just be gentle. There's only a couple pieces that are adhered on, and they are the battery and the rumble pack. So those are the only 2 things that you have to use a little bit of force to get off. Worst comes to worst, if you do end up breaking the battery for whatever reason, you can replace them. They're pretty easy to replace, which is kind of cool. Alright, now we have it all apart. We'll pull the old buttons out. The new ones take a little bit of finagling since they don't have the letters written on the front. Takes just a little bit of trial and error to get them to fit in there. After we do that, we'll put it all back together, and here's the finished product. As you see, it's working. The green lights are on, so it's connected. compared to the old ones on the left or the black ones, stock ones. But yeah, they came out really good. Translucent blue, the feel is almost like the soft touch material of the Joy-Con, which is nice. So I will go ahead and get that left side all taken care of. I'll make a mold of the directional buttons and cast those to finish my custom Rube Joy-Con set. Also, I'm going to do a custom Super Nintendo style Joy-Con. I'll do a custom paint and add the red, blue, green, and yellow buttons to finish the look out. I'm trying to also mimic the N64 style see-through neon controllers and do translucent Joy-Con shells. So working through the kinks in that, so look for that video coming soon. If you like this video, please go ahead and click that button. You can subscribe to the channel by clicking here. I'm also going to finish the Fantastic Four set, so look for that soon. Thanks again, guys. See you soon.